Hey everyone. So tonight I want to talk to you about baking, and I'm going to share with you a little baking tip to make your cookie baking go a little easier. So, one of the new products we came out with is the Linzer cookie cutters. And these, on one side, you can cut just the shape of the cookie. Let's say we were going to do the stars. And then on the other, you could go through and do a bunch of stars, and then in half of them, you'd go back through with the little insert here on the back side and cut your little cutouts. So you have your Linzer cookies. And that's what I'm gonna show you today. I had read online last year that, and if you're a cookie baker like I am, you'll appreciate a shortcut. So you can take a baggie. I just took a regular baggie. You could use our silicone baggies, but I just decided to get a regular one so I could label it. And you can label the silicone ones, but anyway. So I just wrote Linzer cookies on here. And what I'm gonna do with your cookies, you know, you're always gonna have your butter at room temperature, and you're gonna cream that with your sugar, and you're gonna add your eggs, and then you're gonna move on to your dry ingredients. So what if ahead of time, you go ahead and baggie up your dry ingredients. Then all you got to do on cookie baking day, or you could set aside another day to go ahead and make up these doughs, put in the refrigerator, let them firm up or whatever, and then pull them on out when it's time to bake your cookies, roll them out and do whatever. So, I found a recipe. This is in just a regular little Christmas cookie book. It's for jam-filled wreaths. We're going to use 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So, got my little measuring spoon or scoops here. We'll go ahead and do that. And one thing that is always a constant with baking, you always want to make sure that you have leveled off your measuring spoons to get your accurate amount of stuff. So, here's our cup. Here's our 1/2 cup. And once again, I'm just going to level that off. Now, one of these, I don't remember if it's the measuring spoons or the measuring cups, actually comes with a little leveler. I don't usually use it because I've got my spoons in my jar, but if you have that, use that. Okay, so we've got that. We need our baking powder. We need a teaspoon, and these all nestle together. You notice how the cups nestle together, so do the spoons. So we need a teaspoon here of our baking powder. And what I do to level it, I use this flat side here. Put that in. Then our recipe says a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice. So what I'm going to use, you know, we have our pantry spices. We have the double strength Madagascar bourbon vanilla, which this recipe doesn't actually use vanilla. We have our Korenji cinnamon and our cinnamon plus. Now these are only out at Christmas time, and they're while supplies last. So what I like to do when a recipe calls for cinnamon and allspice, nutmeg, all those things, instead of doing one of the cinnamon and one of the other, pumpkin pie spice, whatever, I just go with the cinnamon plus because it's got all that in there. Plus it also has a little bit of an orange flavor, which isn't going to hurt it at all. So it says a teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of the allspice. So what I'm going to do is a teaspoon, that's a tablespoon. I must have used my 1/2 teaspoon. It must be in the drain. So I'm going to do the teaspoon of the cinnamon plus, and now I'm going to do about 1/2. And I know, guys, I'm not being exact here. So my cookies might be a little spicier. But That's just because mine is in the drain at the moment. And fun fact, if you fill these cups on the top up, they are a tablespoon. Okay, so we're going to use a cup of cooking oats. These are old-fashioned oats. It says quick cooking oats. I think it'll be fine just like this. Leveled up perfect. And then we are going to use 3/4 of a cup of chopped nuts. Here I have some shelled walnuts. This is our new electric twist and chop. I've already got it plugged in, so it's come on. The good thing, I'll show you with it without the stuff so you can see. The good thing about our food processor, this electric twist and chop, it not only the blades go around, they go up and down. So they really do a great job. I actually thought, you know, I don't know if I need that. I have a food processor, but mine is actually, I think it's seen some better days. It's kind of wanting to act funny. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and get ours. That way I'll be able to demo it. Plus I'll be able to see how it does. I'm going to grab my little chip clip here. It has a clamp on one side and there's a little razor blade in here. I'm going to open that up. It says 3/4 a cup of finely chopped. I don't know if once they're finely chopped, if that makes more. It's probably going to be less actually. So I'm not going to make that. I think it's going to be okay that that's rounded. Another cool feature of this, it has a little pour spout on one side. Okay. So I have seen when I've been processing where stuff kind of wants to come up on the side. So I've been holding my finger there. Another feature here, it has like a little funneled in place. It has a little hole in the bottom. That's where you can pour your liquids. Like if you were adding melted butter to something. There we go. Turn it to the left. I always want to turn it to the right. Okay, so I was looking for my mini scraper, but
should be in there.
I think it's in the sink. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there and level that. So I think it's roughly pretty close that 3/4 makes about 3/4 here, but may have